My community Discord was just created. It will be down in the description below. I hope to see you there. Let's talk about the best healer build for PvE in Season 3. The life staff build you want to run is going to be a standard AoE healer build. It does have a few different talents, but we are looking at Sacred Ground, Orb of Protection, and Beacon. In PvE, our main goal is to do as much damage with our Void Gauntlet, and the life staff is more of just our off weapon. The best offhand to use is the Void Gauntlet, and this build might look a little messy, so let's quickly talk about it. The main three abilities you will be using for 90% of your dungeon is going to be Putrefying Scream, Void Blade, and Oblivion. The reason we take Baleful Tether and Essence Rupture is because on certain bosses we can actually take away Putrefying Scream since we're not fighting a clump of mobs, and we can swap it for Essence Rupture or Tether. Make sure before every boss to take off Scream and either put Tether or Essence Rupture depending on what you want. Your team will get more heals out of Essence Rupture, but you will get more damage out of Tether. I would recommend using Essence Rupture over Tether unless you are fighting the last boss of the Lazarus dungeon. And once again, do not forget to re-equip Scream after fighting a boss. We are on the newworld-buddy.de website to show you all the best healer build for Season 3. Starting off with the attributes, we have a ton of options. So the best option that I recommend here is going to be 220 Intellect, 350 Focus, and 50 Constitution. This is for the healers that want to do the max amount of damage with their Void Gauntlet. If you are uncomfortable wearing 50 Con, we can bump it up to 100. We simply just have to take away 50 points from Intellect and put them into our Constitution. Now we are at 170 Intellect, 350 Focus, and 100 Constitution. We always want to be at least 150 Intellect for that bonus to 15% elemental damage. There's a few options as well. I've also seen people run up to 25 Strength. I've seen people go up to 25 Dex. I've seen pretty much every build that you can imagine in Season 3. There were so many options. What you get at 25 Strength is 5% light attack damage, and what you get at 25 Dex is 5% critical hit chance. The last pair of attributes you can run is for the speed runners: 25 Dex, 350 Intelligence, 200 Focus, and 50 Constitution. You can even drop your 50 Constitution down to 25 and increase your Dex to 50 for that 5% damage while at full health. Would I recommend this to everyone? No, this is only for the top 0.1% of speedrunners or players who have a very consistent and trustworthy group. Moving on to the armor perks, we have to talk about a few key perks that are required. If you do not have these perks, you need to go out and get them, even if they are a 2-perk piece of armor. So the first perk to get is going to be Nullifying Oblivion. This perk will remove any fortify or empower buffs that the NPC has, which is going to be making your runs faster. As always, in every healer build, Fortifying Sacred Ground is going to be mandatory. And once again, on the armor, for the amulet, you want to have health and any type of protection. Moving on to the earring on the right side of the screen here, Beloved is going to be the mandatory perk to take on the earring. It is going to generate 50% less threat from all sources, so this accounts for our heals, our damage. Now, the last two perks to talk about are going to be on our weapon. For the life staff, we want to have Keen Beacon on our weapon. It's going to increase the critical chance of our DPS players, which makes them crit more, and more crits is more damage. And for the Void Gauntlet, we want to have Putrefying Scream. Now that we talked about the mandatory and required perks, let's hover over the stackable perks on the right side of the screen here. So of course, we want to have our 4 refreshing, just like almost every other healer build, our 5 to 4 health, and as much enchanted ward as possible. Now that we have the basics covered down, let's quickly talk about our gear. Starting off with the head, the best in slot piece is going to be health, enchanted ward, and nullifying oblivion. For the featherweight, you have a few options. You can either take health or you can take another piece of enchanted ward. Most PvEers that I talk to actually prefer enchanted ward, but since you might be using your featherweight in other builds, health is going to be the most safe option to do. For the heavy gloves here, health, enchanted ward, once again the 2 mandatory perks. The third perk really doesn't matter as much as the other ones. The only perk that I could really think of putting on your heavy gloves is going to be empowering breaker. Some NPCs in the dungeons wear a shield, so if you hit the shield with your Void Gauntlet, you can actually get a pretty hefty empower bonus. Empowering breaker isn't really one of those perks to shoot after for though. For the legs, we have the Empress Zhao's embroidered pants, health refreshing enchanted ward. For the feet, we have the Empress Zhao's embroidered shoes, health refreshing fortifying sacred grounds. And for the amulet, once again, we have a health, nature protection, and refreshing piece. Refreshing is going to be the third perk of your choice on any amulet that you get for your best in slot option. Most people will not be able to get refreshing on every single amulet, especially because there were so many elemental mutations. Just shoot for a 2-perk health and protection amulet. For the best in slot ring, we have Hardy, Sacred, and Keen Awareness. Keen Awareness, once again, is going to increase our DPS and cooldown reduction with the Void Gauntlet. Life Loop with Refreshing Toast, Healthy Toast, and Beloved. For the weapon, we have the Corrupt Progenitor Lifestaff with Blessed, Refreshing Move, and Keen Beacon. And lastly, the Tai Yi Void Gauntlet with Enchanted, Refreshing Move, and Putrefying Scream. As for the Heartrune, there is no better option than the brutal Heartrune of Detonate. Big explosion, more damage, faster clears. Your team is going to love you. Here is a more realistic best in slot build to go for. We have about 3 purple items, and that's going to be the amulet with the 2 perk health and protection I was talking about, the ring with Hardy Sacred, and the headpiece with Enchanted Ward or health and Nullifying Oblivion. So there's the headpiece. We have the featherweights and easy to farm or craftable pieces such as the Azoth Crystal Gauntlets, the Empress Zhao's embroidered pants, the Empress Zhao's embroidered shoes, and once again 2 perk crafted health, nature protection, or any other protection amulets, and a simple Hardy Sacred ring. The life loop is also easy to farm or craft, and the weapons have not changed at all. So in total, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have about 7 pieces out of 10 that we can go out and farm in the open world for PvE. The rest of the items are super easy and cheap to buy or craft, so this is the recommended build I would shoot for. So what are the best gems to put in your armor and weapons? Each week it's actually going to depend. This week we have Lazarus, but it is Ice Week. And if we check under the mutation here, it says frozen enemies deal 50% of all damage as ice damage. So in our armor, we would want to actually put 5 aquamarines and 3 aquamarines in our jewelry. But what if I want to do Genesis? Well, you'd have to unslot all of your aquamarines to put in fire gems, because in Genesis, 50% of all damage is done as fire damage. So each week and each mutation is going to have a different type of element, and you have to slot the correct gems to mitigate as much damage as possible. And the best gem to put in your Void Gauntlet is also going to differ. We are looking at the Angry Earth tab. Angry Earth takes 120% extra slash damage and 130% fire damage. So in our Void Gauntlet, we would want to slot a Fire Ruby for Angry Earth Week. Under Lost, the highest elemental damage taken is going to be a Nature Amber. So in our Void Gauntlet, we would want to put a Nature Amber gem in there. And etc. For Corrupted, you'd put Arcane. For Ancient, you'd either put a Diamond or a Lightning Topaz. For Beast, you'd put a Diamond, and for Human, you'd put a Diamond as well. Consumables are also a very big important part of PvE, so let's quickly talk about them. The best 4 consumables to put on your bar is going to be Infused Health Potion, Infused Mana Potion, Infused Regeneration Potion, and an Infused Ward Potion. This can be any ward potions from Angry Earth, Corrupted, etc. There's also damage enhancement consumables such as Powerful Honing Stone. You don't have to use a Powerful Honing Stone every dungeon, just get the cheap weak Honing Stones. And lastly, the Infused Coating. Do not get the lower tier ones, always use Infused Coatings. They are cheap and they give the best damage bonus. For another easy quick damage bonus, we are at the faction vendor. Find a faction vendor in a town, click on rewards, head over to the commander title, scroll down until we find the item called Component Ultimate Combat Trophy. Now we can have a total of 3 combat trophies, and they cost 45,000 gold each, and they require all of the prerequisite combat trophies. If you do not have the gold or the items to buy these ultimate combat trophies, you can go to the trading post and search up the basic Ancient Combat, Angry Earth Combat, Corrupted Combat, etc. trophies, and you can simply just buy the cheap version. You can have up to 3 total, 1 per house. I would recommend grabbing the basic trophies. They are the cheapest, but over time, as you have more gold to sink into the game, I would recommend buying the ultimate combat patterns. They are a nice quality of life thing and open up more trophy slots in your houses. That about wraps it up for today's video. Do not forget to join my Discord. Link will be down in the description below, and as always, if you have any questions or comments, the comments is available. I will respond to you very, very quick. Streams are coming soon. Stay updated in my Discord. You know the vibe, baby. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace, baby.